right, I'm back. This is Augustus Grigori coming back to you with another episode. So, I'm very much alive. This is episode 3, and going to give you guys all a little bit of a brief overview of what's been going on in my life and why I've been gone for so long. And I'll be letting you know that I do plan on making some more consistent videos now. I know that it was a really long break. I do apologize for that. I have been gone for just a ridiculously long amount of time, and I usually, personally, I hate this when it comes to finding a YouTube channel that I really like, and they have like a really great video. Maybe they'll post for a few, every few weeks or so, and then suddenly they just disappear off the face of the earth, and everyone's like, yo, what happened to you? And they're gone, and it's really frustrating. So I personally don't want to be that individual, and if ever I do plan on falling off the face of the earth, I do plan on posting a video and telling you, hey guys, like, I'm out of here. I did that last time with my old channel, and I want to make it very clear that while I was gone, it's not that I suddenly stopped creating, or that I just stopped doing what I was doing with sigil channeling. It's just that there's a plethora of reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'll give you guys a little bit of an update as to what's been going on. So what has been happening lately is I'm going through my Saturn return. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. You could figure it out. I mean, if you're already subscribed to me and you're watching my videos, there's a good chance you know what this is. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into too much detail, simply because this is just something that everyone's going to eventually go through in their life a few times throughout their life. But I do want to just cut to the chase and tell you what's been happening and get to the real meat and potatoes, and then eventually transition into talking about what it is that I plan to do. So on the topic of this channel and what's been happening, I have taken a break in the first few months after I posted episode 2, but then things start to take on a life of its own, externally, specifically in my career and in my life in general. Not in a negative way. It's just changes, like lots and lots of changes that happen, and change is good, by the way. Embrace change, and if you are experiencing any sort of negative change that's going on, do take note that a lot of the times the negative change that goes on in our lives is usually us holding on to the creature comforts of our current comfortable life, when there is something far more, I guess, better out there for us. But if we refuse to budge, things start to get a little bit crazy, and eventually life itself will rip the band-aid off. And if you are someone who is an occultist, you will know this, whether you are, I don't know, contacting a higher guardian angel, or your infernal self or higher self, or whatever that may be. You will experience certain happenings in your life in which they will rip the band-aid off sometimes, and they will uproot your life. They will cause things to happen where you will be forced to either confront issues that you have been facing, or forced to grow up and make some certain decisions. Now, I want to be very transparent and open up to you guys, because I myself have been slowly coming out of this hiding, I guess, and I'm usually not one to share a lot about my life as Augustus Grigori, because, I mean, I have alibis, I have a real name, I have other sorts of sorts of things that I usually want to keep separated and compartmentalized in my magical work. But of course, there are some things where you really can and cannot hide. So I'm really, really eager to share these things because I want to share a little bit more of myself so that people can better understand me and not just see me as the sigil channeler, the magic dude, the guy who talks about things. Like I want to talk about a lot of things specifically, and I always say, like, I don't know what I want to talk about. It's always the sigil channelings. It's always this. It's always that. But I think I've come to this conclusion that I want to just be a free channel to the information that gets dispersed to me, and so that the people that are subscribing to this are able to look at what I want to share. And I've learned over the years of working with occultism and magic that a lot of my information really does deserve to go out to be out there. For example, like I'll never let this go. If you're curious, like I mention it all the fucking time, but the thing about the Mammon sigil, like it's a really great example. I just did that on a whim one day, felt it right to channel him because I had a really good relationship with Mammon, created the sigil, let it out, let it go into public, and suddenly I start seeing a bunch of people using the sigil out there. I mean, you go on Etsy right now and you search up the Mammon sigil, like you're going to find things with that very thing. You're going to go on Redbubble, you're going to find that very sigil I channeled. And like I said, like I'm not going to claim any ownership to the rights of that sigil because first off, I know personally from a businessman perspective, if you don't know my background, I'm actually an entrepreneur. So that's why I'm able to have the time to do these things on the side. But from an entrepreneur perspective, it's a really stupid idea to just let it out and not gain royalties from something like that Mammon sigil. And I'm just saying, well, it's not necessarily my intellectual property because it's Mammon's intellectual property. And Mammon will do what he wants to do. So I'm almost using the sigil. I'm just full disclosure. I'm using the sigil almost like an offering. So those that do use that sigil, that is energy that is being fed to Mammon. And because I'm the one who brought it into this world, I do hope that Mammon recognizes that and sees that. And so that he is able to, I guess, bless me or help me in a way that can create or financial abundance in my life through sharing with the world his symbol, his sigil. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to share on that topic. But this is what I mean. I don't really plan these things. Sometimes I just do these things on a whim and I see the impact it leaves on the community. And I realize, oh shit, maybe I actually have a place here. You know, maybe there is a lot more to what I'm doing than just letting this be some sort of not a side hobby, but like a closeted practice that I don't really share with the world. So that's that. I want to start sharing a lot more. I say that a lot, especially in the last few episodes, but 1 year after, and here I am, and I want to share this. Next thing I want to talk about specifically is the topic of what's been going on. So the last time we talked, I channeled a sigil of Belphegor, and from there I stopped. I actually stopped receiving communications from some of these entities when it came to sigil channeling. I'm just not feeling it lately when it came to sigil channeling. It just comes and goes. It's not something that I'm going to force myself to do. Like it's the same with the Mammon sigil. Like I didn't force myself to channel Mammon. It just came to me. And the same should go with the sigils. If I end up forcing myself to channel just for the sake of creating content on YouTube, I'm going to be here for the wrong reasons, and it's going to dilute my quality, and it's going to look like shit, and you guys are not going to be very satisfied with what's coming out. I want to make sure that what I'm sharing is authentic and genuine, and I'm doing it because I I have the heart to do it, and not because I feel like I need to do it for the sake of content. There's already a lot of content out in this world, and there's a lot of channels that I see that just get burnt out completely and watered down because of this constant idea, this need of needing to constantly create content. So, all right, I'm getting off topic. So the last time you saw me, I had my own place, beautiful place, and I loved it. It was a beautiful place, and had some full independence, and everything just seemed really great. My practice was going really well. I do a lot of energy working. I don't do a lot of physical altar work anymore, simply because I realize how little I've really needed it. And if you are a magician yourself, you might go through that same transition. I know a lot of people out there that have the altars, have all the fancy stuff, and they will end up completely abandoning it and eventually just physically working in their own inner temple, whether that be their mind or their physical body, or just doing it wherever they want to be. And I say, like, that's really one of the most effective things that you can be doing. I still do have an altar, and I still work with spirits in that fashion, but I just don't find that as necessary unless, of course, I'm working with clients. Now that's something I do want to talk about eventually, but I'm going to keep that a little bit on the down low because I do want to set something up eventually, but that's not till later. That's really not till later. So what I've been doing is living in that beautiful condo. I was renting it out, and long story short, the landlord decided that they wanted to sell it, and the new owners, of course, they wanted to live in there, and they kicked us out. So that's that. But as I am and what I feel, my bullshit detectors are very, very strong. And so I was able to sniff out, and I realized that they were probably not going to live in it. They were just some foreign investors that just wanted to buy the place and eventually rent it out for a much higher price. So I'm currently in the process of forwarding this to my local real estate board to investigate and seek it out, because I will get compensated for it if that is what they're trying to do. But that's what happened. So I ended up moving back home to my parents' house. Funny enough. Well, parents' house. I don't. I do have a passed away family member, but besides that, that's just kind of what it is, and that's just what life is. I am now the sole owner of this home, so I'm very lucky to say I'm very fortunate and thankful and grateful that I have a home that I own and don't have to rent necessarily. So with that, I'm very grateful. So that's just what's been happening. That's the first line of chaos that's been happening. But I also think that there's a silver lining to it, because number one, the rent was really expensive, and a lot of the times it distracted me from making this purposeful work. Meaning, the reason why I wasn't doing these videos or sharing the videos or content that I really wanted to share was because a lot of my time I was distracted. I took a lot of time off because I was so busy working that I pretty much was working for the majority of the time just to pay down this rent so that I can have this sense of independence away from, I guess, my past, really. Independence away from my past and where I grew up, so that I can grow a bit. But, that time has passed. I did the growing. I grew from my experiences, and I got what I needed. And so that chapter is closed. I'm back here again. And I'm here to realize that, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been working so hard to pay rent. Maybe this is a way of, whatever it is, my HGA or or whatever spirit guide or entities that I've just been actively working with telling me, hey man, like we need you to get back on this and you need to work on your shit because we're getting, you know, a little bit sick and tired of having you coast around and chase money for so long that you are completely distracted by what is it that's actually important. So of course, you know, I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm going to take this as a sign and do exactly that. Come back, retreat, and do what is necessary. And it's kind of funny. This is all in timing with a Saturn return. This is September the 3rd in terms of recording, so Venus has gone direct. I am not an astrologer. I just know what I know to my best ability. I'm not an expert in this. This is just basically based off of what I've been told. Venus has gone direct after retrograde, so there's a lot of things that are coming to the surface that I'm learning, that I'm understanding. Okay, on that topic, as you can see, I'm kind of out of breath. I'm not used to speaking for this long, but I do want to tell you a little bit about what's been going on the magical front. So a lot of less sigil channeling, more path work, more energy, more personal gnosis about certain things, and more books. Holy shit, a lot more books. Just been buying books left and right, looking at different pieces from different authors. I like to look at authors specifically that are that are from like just different walks of life. I know some people like to go into the Gallery of Magic and get their books, and some will say it's very beginner friendly, some will say it's not. I like to go into the advanced shit and also get into the stuff that is easily accessible for the general public, because you know there's stuff that you can easily overlook that you will not find in the advanced stuff, and there's stuff that you will overlook that you will not find in the accessible stuff, you know, the less esoteric stuff. And the last time I disappeared, if you remember, if you guys are one of the original subscribers back then, like back in my old channel, you will remember that I was contacted by a specific entity, and then it told me to just get rid of everything. And I did. I used to have a really big altar, especially one dedicated to Azazel, tomato, Hecate. Yeah, I had, you know, Belial, whatever you want to call them. But I've had giant altars to them dedicated in this room, and I had a full setup. And then this really ridiculously powerful entity just comes up and is like, no, you're going to put this shit all away. You're going to give it away to the people that you want to help, and you're going to start from the beginning. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm kind of afraid of it, but I'm going to try this. It was out of blind faith, something I don't always recommend people to do, but something just felt right in that moment to do that. And I guess what I got into contact with was, okay, I want you to really understand that first, I am not dogmatic in any way. I don't follow a religion. I'm not a Gnostic. I'm not agnostic. I am not associated with any sort of religious belief, but I truly believe that this entity that has reached out to me was, I guess, the monad. And I don't want to say that lightly either, because there's a lot of entities out there that want to screw around and pretend that they're this entity. There's a lot of imposter and trickster spirits out there that really want to pretend. And I've seen them all. There's a lot of entities that I've evoked that have come so far and have imitated other powerful entities and have shown themselves. And like, I've had those experiences. I've done the banishing. I've done all these things. This one I do truly believe is the real deal. And if this is truly not the real deal, this is really some trickster spirit, then this trickster spirit
is fucking powerful, if not the most powerful spirit I've ever met in general, even if it were a trickster in the first place. So here's the problem. To say it was a trickster in the first place is hard, because there was nothing I could really put my finger on as to what this was. It was completely incomprehensible. It was neither demonic nor angelic. I couldn't even say it was neutral. It was something so different. It wasn't even alien. It was just something so fundamentally different, so strange, that it echoed beyond, I guess, my soul, echoed beyond what I could truly understand. And I've been in contact with this spirit, but the spirit itself, like, no matter how hard I try, just comes and goes as it pleases. And I want to say at the same time, it doesn't really come and go. It just speaks to me at certain times and certain points in my life where it needs to. So there's a long period of time in between sometimes where I will not hear a damn thing for months, years even. And then there'll be that occasional situation where I will hear from it. And I'm like, well, what? Just totally blindsided by it. And it doesn't seem to be in conflict of whatever it is that I am practicing. No matter what kind of entity I evoke, it doesn't have any issues with what it is that I do. So that's not an issue. I don't ever see it to be telling me, like, no, you're doing this wrong, or you should do it like this, or you should do it like that. It's just this person that gives this direction sometimes and says, hey, you should go put this away. You really don't need this. You can do so much more. And it's always been steering me in this really good direction. But also has me face some really uncomfortable truths about not only myself, but other things as well. But yeah, I came into contact many years ago with what I believe was the monad. What I'm saying is what I believe is the monad, because for all I know, this could be an entity so far off that definition that I might be getting into contact with something that I guess people may have contacted before, but just really couldn't identify what that is. I tried figuring out if this was something completely internal and just some sort of inner voice or my own mind speaking to me. And I'm getting a lot of yes and no answers from it, because it is both external but internal, just like everyone is. Like everyone else out there can contact or can get into contact with this voice. I don't think that this is something you would call the Abrahamic God. I don't think it's Yah or Yahweh. I'm not a Gnostic, like I said, but I do believe that the God of the Abrahamic religions is egregorical in nature, and a lot more of a Gnostic demiurge like Yaldabaoth than that of what it is that I am actually contacting. So I want to get a little bit deeper into that eventually. I don't want to disperse all the information, because first off, I'm operating off a script. I'm not operating off a script. I'm just speaking my mind right now. So everything's all over the place. If you're still we're about over 20 minutes in, and if you're still here, first off, thank you, and second of all, I'm just going to be all over the place and just give you this update. So that's my situation right now. The thing about this whole monad thing is I'm slowly getting initiated into, I can't tell if it's an open or a closed current, but whatever it may be, I do plan on releasing something about it, because there are sigils and elementals and, yes, angels and demons that are involved in this that I want to share, because this may be a very powerful system of magic that I do want the world to look into. But I'm still trying to collectively understand and fundamentally understand what this is, because I can't really distribute this information if I don't really understand it. So that's my situation. And moving on to just what's been happening in my life. So moved out, getting into contact with the monad, making this magical system with myself. I'm going to just shed a little bit of light as to what it is. So I've actually been a career magician, part-time, so not all the time. When I'm not doing magic per se, I'm also experienced in Reiki. I'm a master at Usui Reiki, Jikiden Reiki, Teramai Seikim, all those little systems that people see. I also develop my own healing systems, and so I do that for work sometimes as a part-time business, and I get clients here and there. But I'm also a career magician at times, where people have found a way to contact me, and they would eventually pay me to do work for them. And I guess I could say I got a pretty steady, nice roster of clientele that they come back, and a lot of them come from really nice backgrounds, and so they're able to pay me well because they request a lot of stuff, and I do my best to serve them, and they're very happy with what I do. But I'm still trying to figure out a way in which I have to create a bit more of a presence here on YouTube, on Reddit, and eventually, on other social medias, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, whatever that may be. Create enough of a presence where I can eventually start doing more work for the public, as opposed to private individuals that reach out to me on I don't have a website. I just have an email that people reach me from. Look, if anyone here is interested in getting services done, I'll consider it. If you reach out, maybe you can email me. I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee you anything because, first off, I myself am really busy. I don't just do magic on the side. I run a number of e-commerce businesses when I'm not doing this. But that's my life. So I've been busy with a lot of things. I've been busy with work, a lot of my businesses. I made this decision to heal this part of me. I was a dropout, and so I created a business all on my own, dropped out of school so that I could pursue my dreams, and eventually realized that, hey, a lot of my pain is associated with school because I did a lot of shit that I didn't want to do. So maybe I should consider getting back into school with something that I actually want to do. So I decided, all right, I'm going to go back to school, study for a year, get my certificate, and just say that I did it. So that's been taking a lot of my time too as well. So there's a lot of things that are taking my time. I'm growing up, family stuff, relationships, kids, you name it. I'm juggling everything to the best of my ability, but also learning how to take a rest. Also, by the way, big tip if you are a career magician, or really anything along the lines of an entrepreneur or whatever the hell it is that you do, learn to rest. It will help you in so many ways. I didn't know how to rest completely, and I was constantly burnt out, felt like shit a lot of the times, and it was never pretty in front of the people that I cared about. And let that be, if you're looking for a sign on learning how to rest, let that be the sign. So, all right, that's my current update. I've going through my Saturn return. I've moved back home, working full-time with my businesses, getting back into school, working harder into my magical practice because I'm introducing a whole new current. At the same time, I'm doing a bunch of reading, working a lot of stuff with the family, and it's just life, really, that is taking me away from YouTube. And I plan to come back to YouTube because I feel like it's right to do so. So I've come back, and I came back knowing that these past videos that I made about telling people, hey, give me suggestions on what to share, and I realized, no, this is not the right thing to do. I should be making my own content based off of what it is that I want to share. So I'm going to do that. You will still get the sigil channelings. You will still get the talks about certain things. You will still get the talks about certain entities. You will still get that. It's just that things will be a lot more consistent, and things will be a lot more in deep discussion, and you'll also get a little bit more of a structured script, so you're not sitting here for half an hour trying to figure what it is that I'm trying to convey to you. This is all loosely based. This is just more of a discussion between you and me, you the viewer, so that you know what's been going on. But I just want to say, hey, I'm back. I really am for real back. Even though it's just been 2 videos, I see that there are still people out there that are subscribing to me, even though it's been a year. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It has been a really long time. I know. Right now I'm sitting at a little bit over 100 subscribers. So like for me, getting that from 2 videos, that's a huge thing. I've seen the ratio of people who have been uploading videos and haven't been, and those that, like what their subscriber to video ratio is like. So for me, this is an honor. And if this is what's happening right now, I gotta be doing something right. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to all those who have been patient with me. Thank you to all those that have been watching my content and enjoying my content. I do plan on talking about a few certain things. I have a bit of a idea of making a video on Azazel. I'll talk about it. I'm going to make a video about it and tell you about my journey working with him, because I had a huge 2 to 3 year journey with him, and I don't really work with him actively right now, but I want to share that story eventually. So I don't want to take too much of anyone's time, and I don't want to take too much of my time, because I want to relax today. I want to sit down and game. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 16 lately, and I gotta say, I'm a fucking sucker for it. I love it. And I'm going to rest a bit and work more on my businesses while doing a little bit of self-study. But I just want to let you all know, I'm back. I'm here to create some content. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you that has been subscribed, who has been liking my videos, who has been making comments and engaging, because that not only grows my channel, but it gives me a sense of purpose, knowing that what it is that I'm doing is actually something that I want to do and that is actually right. I want to be contributing to this community, and I want it so that when I do eventually leave this world, whether that be in 70, 80 years or who knows, I want there to be an impact. I want people to be better off on their magical and their spiritual journey because I lived, because I gave the information that I gave. I am here to say I'm not crazy or a quack, because I don't think I'm the Messiah. I don't think I'm the reincarnation of Crowley or any sort of shit like that. I'm just here to say that I am who I am, and I'm here to say that I'm here to stay. I'm here to create these things. I'm not some sort of crazy mystical figure that's important, but I am here to say that, like, my practice is my practice, and I believe in its importance and contribution to the community, and I want to contribute. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just want that satisfaction that I did what I said I would do for myself. So anyways, this is Augustus Grigori signing off, once again saying thank you for your patience. I'm back, baby.